Welcome. We're the Harrises, here to talk to you about football and sports, the best football and sports talk you're going to get. We got Chris Harris Jr., champion Super Bowl 50, and we got Shelby Harris, current Cleveland Browns player and legendary Harris, and myself, Ryan Harris, champion Super Bowl 50, alongside Chris Harris Jr. Well, fellas, let's get rolling quick. Set hut. Let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs continuing to find ways to win, winning at the last second against the Denver Broncos. Shelby, what do you make of the way that game finished and went?
Well, as a lot of Denver Knights know, that's how I made my splash in Denver, was blocking a field goal to win the game against the Chargers. And no field goal is safe anymore. You got to be able to protect. And the Broncos, it seems like, have been struggling from that left side all season. And whenever it's crunch time, you got people that are going to give all their energy, give all their power, and go out there and try to win the game. And they went up there and obliterated that left side, ran them smooth over. Like it was over before it even started. And that's the thing, is when you have a weak spot, because being a guy on field goal block every week, we look for who the weak spot is and how we're going to attack it. And especially if it's a game clinching situation, you got to know, okay, we have to have our best field goal rush on. And so the Chiefs obviously knew that they were weak on that left side. The tackle got blown up on the ground, and you had 3 Chiefs come through. It's just that's a tough situation, because the Broncos at that point had did everything to win the game. Bo Nix looked like a vet on that last drive, getting the ball downfield, getting them in field goal position. And it's unfortunate, but that's why the Chiefs are undefeated, because they're finding the little ways to win the game, and the Broncos couldn't secure it.
This game hurt. Losing this game, haven't been able to win in Arrowhead since 2015, and we're right there. Perfect clock management by Sean Payton. I think we got Will Lutz in the perfect position exactly where he wanted it, right? Yep. And all we needed to block. You don't have to block too long at field goal block, right? You just got to hold up a quick couple seconds and so we can get this ball off. And they were just killing that the offense's left side the whole time. And I wish they would have they used to bring like a tackle over or a tight end over. Yeah. They used to do that. And then there used to be a shorter side on opposite away from where the kicker's trying to kick. But, it was a tough loss. Denver's very close. And on a rebuild year, I think they played them very well. I think they have confidence that they can beat this team. But, man, the Chiefs continue to do what they do and what they've been doing for the past 3 years. Close out games, finish better than everybody, and still have that belief that they can win every game, no matter how much time is left.
Well, they showed why they're the champions, right? I mean, you might get them for 99.8% of the plays, but that 0.02, they're going to get that one if you're not focused. And contrary to popular belief, there's a ton of technique on field goal. And so for Alex Forsythe, the tackle at that position, he's normally a center or guard, which that's a little bit of a strange personnel decision. Typically, you bring in the extra tackles to kind of shore that up. But especially in a game-winning situation, when you got 3 people, so you got 2 people aiming at each of your shoulders and one aiming right down the middle, you have to meet contact and get your head across 2 of those players and let the third one go wide. And Forsythe's a young player. This is kind of first year starting at a major first year playing at a major amount. And it just is so easy at the end of the game to think, oh, they're not going to get it. No, they are giving all of the effort. That's why they win championships, because everybody's tired. Everybody has a choice not to pay attention. But to Chris's point, they believed. And what's brutal is, back to your point, Shelby, the Broncos played good enough to win that game. I mean, Audric Estime, Devon Vele, Adam Troutman, they're using tight ends now in the offense. Cortland Sutton, Pro Bowler, done. That conversation's over. The defense, multiple sacks, fantastic looks. I mean, that was an excellent game. The focus was the issue, and that's what cost the Broncos.
Well, I know this was a game-saving situation, but the saying always around the league is you can tell that, the state of a team based off of their field goal block. And, because at the end of the day, most teams think of it as that should be an automatic 3 points. But when you have a team where their field goal block team is going, as hard as they can on every field goal block, that's a good state of the team. That means the team really is driven. The team is truly like in the game. And the Chiefs have proven year in and year out that they take every phase of special teams serious. But then another game, a shootout, the Ravens and the Bengals. Man, I've played both of them teams this year. Electric offenses. A questionable 2-point play with a no call. Chris, how do you feel about that game?
Man, it was a great game, especially when you see Jamar Chase go out there and shine. And the Ravens, I think that's going to be their Achilles heel this year. Their secondary. It's going to be hard to win a Super Bowl when your secondary is just giving up 200 yards to receiver, 100, four touchdown passes almost every week, right? Burrow could throw it anywhere he wanted, and they just couldn't tackle Chase. This guy is great. He thrives off yards after catch. He turns into a running back after he catches the football, and that's what makes him so great. And he just continued to kill them all week. What kills me is he ran the post in cover 4. The corner's looking like, where's my help at? Where's my help at? And every DB, if you're watching, you are on your own in cover 4. You are not getting any help on no post, right? You have the post when you hear cover 4. Get ready to run, right? And he just looked confused and let Chase just run by him. So, man, I think the Ravens have to clean up their secondary if they want to win this Super Bowl this year. They're not there yet. And when you allow one guy to just torch your whole defense like that, it's a big telltale that your secondary needs a lot of work, right? Because usually you can see 2 guys go off, but not just one guy the whole entire game. So I'm excited to see the Joe Burrow Chase continue to evolve. Hopefully they pay him. Hopefully they give him the max because he should be the highest paid. Yeah, he should be the highest paid in the league. But the Ravens, man, they got to fix that secondary if they want to win the Super Bowl.
To me, the Bengals lost that game because of a late fumble by Brown, the running back, and that's brutal, right? Because they were in control of that game. And credit to the Ravens for coming back to, 21 points in the second half? I mean, unbelievable scoring. I think it was 28 points to get back into the lead that they eventually scored. Now, on that final 2-point conversion, I love that. Number one, I love going for it. Nothing better as an offensive player than when you score and you turn around, your quarterback saying, hey, we're going for 2. The best is when you say that before the huddle. Jay Cutler we got into a huddle on a game-winning drive, and he goes, hey, boys, when we score a touchdown, we're going for 2. And we ended up beating the Chargers. But what I don't like about the 2-point play is not throwing to Jamar Chase. I mean, exactly. I get it, man. You got reads to do. The man scored 52 points for fantasy football owners. The man had 2 first-down touchdowns. I mean, throw him the ball. He's going to be open, right? There are about 10 receivers in this NFL where they're going to be open, and probably 3 of them are tight ends. But Jamar Chase Burrow had just believed and thrown the ball to his star receiver. That game's over. Bengals win. And now it's a totally different season for the Bengals. If you're the Bengals now, you have to win out to get to the playoffs. To think that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, after that performance, are not going to make the playoffs, that's crazy.
The unfortunate reality of the NFL is this, that if that's Jamar Chase getting that ball thrown to him and he's getting held like that, that flag's coming out.
Flag.
You like 100%. And, it's questionable. It's a questionable roughing the passer that could have been called. It's so many other things that could have been called. I think the least that should have been called would have been offsetting penalties, do it again. But once again, at your time of need, you got to go to your playmakers, and they didn't go to Jamar Chase. And at the end of the day, they lost that game because of that.
Right. I don't know. And I still think it was a PI. The guy was grabbed. I just didn't like the option choice. I thought that you have Solo with chasing the boundary, right? Just draw something up. I hate just seeing the fade balls because I've lost so many games just while the quarterback just throwing the fade ball in the back of the end zone.
But this guy, the fade ball.
but this guy Chase, man, I'm not against that, right? If I want to lose throwing it to my best player and trying to get him involved. And losing throwing it to the tight end, I would be mad, right? I think everybody on the team would be mad. Like, let's try to throw it to T. Higgins at least or Chase. so we can give ourselves a chance to win. But, man, let's go to second down. We got a lot of drama, a lot of controversy going on in the Big D down here, right? Micah Parsons says he doesn't care anything about what Mike McCarthy is there doing, right? Or what he's done in the NFL his whole career, right? So they're having issues with the media. They're having issues on the field. The coaches are looking like they're on the hot seat. Y'all, what's going on in the Big D, man? What's going on with the Cowboys?
Man, I think their season's over. As we saw, Cooper Rush, this isn't the answer. But even with the Micah Parsons statements, he necessarily wasn't taking shots at Mike McCarthy. It was just the truth behind players and coaches. A player has such a small window to win a championship. It's like Zach Martin. You're only 11, 12, 13 years, and then you're retiring. Coaches can coach for 20, 30, 40 years and get one Super Bowl, but the thing is, a coach will get fired and move on the next year to a different team like nothing happened. Just like when Jason Garrett got fired from the Cowboys, he went to the Giants as OC. And it was like nothing happened. He still has a job. He's still fighting for another championship. He still is in a great situation. Players don't have that luxury. And that's where I think Micah Parsons was getting at, is because you have those vet players, those Hall of Fame players like Zach Martin, who hasn't won a championship. You want to win it for your vets. You want to help your vets get to the promised land, because those guys, you've seen them struggle year in, year out. You can't win. And, the Cowboys usually, get 10, 11 wins during the season and then lose first round. But the Cowboys have never made it, to the Super Bowl in I don't know how long. And that's why, as your younger players are like, yes, if you have good vets, you want to get them to the Super Bowl. You want to see them be successful. But your head coach, everyone knows what it is with coaches. Coaches will be in one spot and be in the next year and be in another year after that. And you see coaches that have 3 Super Bowls on 3 different teams because they have a 30, 40-year lifespan in NFL. So I completely understand what Micah Parsons is saying. But for everyone to blow it out of proportion, act like, oh, he hates Mike McCarthy. No, he's just telling the truth. And we need more of that around the league. We need more people telling the truth.
Well, I'm with you, Shelby. Hey, how about this, too? If a player makes a mistake, coaches get to say whatever they want. Talking heads get to say what they want. I love that Micah Parsons spoke out, because guess what? Nobody in the NFL likes Mike McCarthy. He hasn't made a good decision or had a successful team since the one Super Bowl he won. What was that, 2008? I mean, talk about, let alone that he's coaching this long, to your point, Shelby. But that man hasn't done anything since 2008. You want to lose in the NFC Championship game 3-4 times? That's success. I don't know where they do that. I don't know where they call that success. And let's be clear. The Dallas Cowboys are a real estate company. Trading Amari Cooper, not finding a viable backup for Dak Prescott, allowing the deterioration of your offense and defense. I mean, it was just 2 seasons ago they had 2 defensive MVPs on the same roster with Diggs and Parsons. And now what? They can't even win? So what happens is that these Dallas Cowboys ownership is more concerned about filling the seats, which they're going to do in Dallas every single game, about getting that the parking fees and things like that. But we have to be honest. The Dallas Cowboys have not made moves in the last 10 years that make us think they want to win a championship. And Mike McCarthy should have been fired last year. Let's be clear about that too. So there's a lot going on in Dallas. And to me, they're just getting what they earned. They have not done the work in the front office. They have not done the work as players. And they sure have not done the work as coaches.
Well, do they fill the seats with a Cooper Rush? Or do you have to make the change to Trey Lance to give you a chance? You did trade for him. You traded for him. Why not give him a chance? Cooper Rush has been there. He's shown you what he can do. You have nothing to lose now if you play Trey Lance. You traded for him. He's a pass top 3 pick. That's a guy that obviously a lot of teams had all the potential when he was coming out of North Dakota State. So maybe it's time to hand him the reins and see what he can do. Because he's not just a threat with his arm. The kid can move too. And so you already have a different aspect to it than you do with Cooper Rush. And I think if you're the Cowboys and you're actually trying to compete and you're trying to keep people in the seats, you got to think about moving to Trey Lance.
Well, and how did they start with Cooper Rush? That's my question. You're in the meeting room and you're looking at Cooper Rush and Trey Lance. You say, "Oh, Cooper Rush." I mean, no offense to Cooper, I'm sure he's a great person, but man, I mean, you got to go with the dual threat. Go ahead, Chris. I just had to say that.
Cooper Rush he's been the backup, so they feel comfortable with him. You know, he understands the system, but the system has changed. You know, because they did have Kellen Moore, which is balling with the Eagles running their offense, and then they lose Dan Quinn, the DC. Now he's the head coach with the Commanders, and look at how their defense is playing. Right, they're definitely improving. So the Cowboys did lose some guys. They did lose some like key little unsung heroes. Let me try to think. What was the Dexter Fowler, like a Fowler, Dante Fowler? They lost a couple. Dorrance Armstrong, he was like a key. There were key reserves that they missed on the D line to add depth, right? They lost Stephon Gilmore, so the defense is shaky. The offense, they never got a running back, like you said. They never got a receiver, another receiver. So this team is just they're not gonna go too far. They might as well get ready for next season. Get ready to Belichick. We got prime time. Who else we got?
Ooh,
we got some nice candidates. We got some nice candidates next year. That's gonna be it's the hottest job out there. Being able to be the Dallas Cowboys head coach. So,
but is it though? Like you got to just think about everything you have to deal with as a head coach for the Dallas Cowboys, and it's not talking trash about Jerry Jones, but the thing is, Jerry Jones is very involved. Jerry Jones is telling you what you need to do, and sometimes it doesn't align with what you want to do. So if you go there as a head coach, you're not going to have full control. So what makes you think a Bill Belichick, a primetime Deion Sanders? What makes you think a coach who is going to want all the power, all the control, is going to go to Dallas where they're going to have no control?
Well, I think that those coaches know the way to deal with an overreaching owner is to set boundaries. I mean, Bill Belichick was to tell somebody with a $70 to $80 to $120 million contract, he'll tell them to go where the sun don't shine. Coach Prime, it doesn't matter. He's going to either have his success or he's going to talk Jerry out of it. You know what I'm saying? Before he can't make a move. So I do think it needs to be a veteran coach, though, one that doesn't that actually has had tremendous success. But I like what you're thinking there, Chris Harris Jr. I like that, the little prime time. I can see the white letter, the white stripe with the blue prime and a blue shirt for the Cowboys. I mean, it's looking nice, man. Looking nice.
Tell them to tank, man. Go ahead and tank. Y'all got Deion's son coming in at quarterback. Go get a top quarterback. Trade that. Get some other draft picks. Get some pieces. They might as well start over and rebuild.
Yeah.
Right. I don't see them winning a Super Bowl with Dak, especially with the Eagles getting better, continue to improve. The Commanders going to continue to improve. It's pretty much over for them, I think. So they had their little nice 4-year run where they're winning 12 games, and how many games in a row did they win? Or how many years in a row, winning seasons in a row have they had? Like last 4 or 5, right?
Yep.
So they had their run, and now it's closed. You got the Lions that are continuing to make plays. You got the Commanders, you got the Eagles, you got the 49ers are starting to wake up. Even the Cardinals are balling with Kyler Murray.
Come on.
Right? So it's a lot of teams that are there, and that's good place to start us out right now. How do y'all feel about the Bears firing their offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron? Right? We seen that the Bears offense can't get going. Caleb Williams is not having the success that we all thought he would have with the receiver core that he has out there, and they're just not getting it done. So how do y'all feel about the Bears letting go of their offensive coordinator?
Terrible decision. I know Shane Waldron. He's an awesome coordinator. I mean, he just got Geno Smith to 2 Pro Bowls, right? I mean, that's the same offensive coordinator. The problem is Caleb Williams doing what he did at USC, and it's no shock to me that it's coming at about this time of year, guys. I mean, we all remember being rookies. By week 9, week 10, there's that feeling of like, damn, I got to work this hard every week. Yes, you do. You have to work harder each week the further you go. And Caleb Williams just shows what he did in college. He's not staying in the pocket. He's not reading the defense. He's constantly trying to create with his legs. He is not Lamar Jackson. He's about 6 inches shorter. He's slower, right? He doesn't have the same arm. So there's just a lot that I think is on the position of quarterback. And when Caleb Williams takes the craft seriously, pushes through this rookie wall, it's going to be good for the Bears. But I don't understand firing an offensive coordinator, especially one who is as talented as Shane Waldron. Shane's going to be just fine, but I disagree vehemently with the decision.
No, Shane Waldron, I had him as a OC when I was in Seattle. And the thing that him and Caleb Williams might not, be the best fit for is Caleb's not the best timing thrower. He needs to improvise and run around. Geno's going to put that ball where he needs to go. And that's why Geno was so successful when he was in Seattle. But then also when Geno would improvise, Geno's going to make a play. Caleb's just holding on to the ball way too long. You're talking about giving up, 6, 7, 8 sacks a week. That's a D lineman's dream. And then also when you don't have the O-line to protect him, it's, you're already in for a tough situation. But to fire Shane, who I think even before this year I thought was going to be a legit head coaching option, I don't think that's the answer. It seems like it's just people trying to save their own ass. It's just it's who can you point the finger at for these last couple of weeks of failures? But when you point one finger at somebody else, you got 4 fingers pointing back at you. So at the end of the day, I just think this is a move to try to save yourself, buy yourself some more time. But like I said, Caleb Williams, you gotta start seeing that development. With all these other rookie quarterbacks, you're seeing them get better every week. You're seeing Caleb Williams actually get worse. So it's a time where you got to figure out how much work you're putting in and everything. You got to figure out who you are as an NFL player, because obviously it's not going to be easy. But to fire your OC in the middle of your rookie season, that's never a good start to your career.
And this system with Shane Waldron he comes from like the Shanahan system. They run that zone, they run that play action, and it causes you to kind of have to have your back to the D line a little bit and be able to make throws like a Jared Goff is running, like a Brock Purdy, right? It's that same system, and he can't handle it right now, right? He needs to be in more of a college system, a more spread to where he can spread out, kind of get the ball out fast, those bubbles, kind of what he was in USC, and they're not. This is a completely different offense that he's ever played in, right? Play action zone, and they're like Shelby said, their O-line isn't good enough for it, right? And I think the receivers, they're not getting open. Keenan and those guys are not getting open, and it's a collective thing in the whole offense they're not executing right. And that's what he's going to have to go back to the drawing board. He's going to have to go turn on some film, watch John Elway, the old Elway in this system, go put on Matthew Stafford, Purdy, Jared Goff, these guys that are doing great in this system. Not everybody can play in this system. It took Peyton some time, to kind of want to click in this system with Kubiak, So hopefully he's able to get it and get some growth going into next year, but they have to have a guy that can fit his skill set. I don't know if this offense, the scheme fits his skill set going forward, but they got to find somebody that, he can make plays under.
But what does that say necessarily the fact that the Bears wanted Cliff Kingsbury? They wanted Cliff Kingsbury, who worked with him at USC. And he was like, no, I'm good. I'd rather go. Rather go to Washington. I'd rather go to Washington with another quarterback I haven't worked with. That right there says volumes right there. We're not necessarily saying the kid can't play, but the issue is he hasn't figured it out yet. And so until then, you can run through as many coaches as you want to. These quarterbacks got to develop, and they got to figure out how to play in the NFL. And if you don't, they're just going to keep firing coaches and more coaches and more coaches. But I think that's a bigger issue. The NFL has a development problem. They don't know how to develop quarterbacks. It's seen, like with the Anthony Richardson issue and situation in Indy. We've seen that a lot of these coaches don't know how to develop quarterbacks. And they have these schemes where, you want to try to change the quarterback to your scheme. And I've always said that that's not good coaching. You change your scheme to the players. You don't necessarily ask players to change to your scheme. And I feel like we have a coaching problem in the NFL, but then also it's a development problem in the NFL.
And I mean, to point in fact, most of these young rookie quarterbacks do not know how to get under center, which is just insane to me. You can't concede that. You have to be able to do that. But let's wrap it up on fourth down with a team that is moving in the right direction. The Colorado Buffaloes, 7-2, have a chance to play in the Big 12 championship, have a chance to come to Notre Dame and get beat in a playoff game. What do you guys make of Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, and the CU Buffs going 7-2?
That was a big win, especially a hostile win going to Texas Tech. If you guys have ever played there, it's crazy. You know, it's away in East Texas, not a lot in the desert. You know, and they're throwing those tortillas out there.
That photo of the tortilla with the hole in it, though, that was great, dog.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's a small city, man. They go crazy out there. So I know it was a hostile environment. They started out slow, but I'm glad they were able to close out the game. And, you know, Coach, shout out to Warren Sapp, got that D-line coming. You know, Travis Hunter continued to make plays and all those guys. I just hope, man, November 23rd, when they pull up the Arrowhead, you know, Kansas, we're going to put the smack down on them, though. We're going to have to end that Big 12 talk, end all this Big 12 championship talk. We're going to shut those dreams down. So I'm looking forward to that game because I think Kansas has two NFL cornerbacks, and it's going to be a great matchup versus Travis Hunter. So I'm looking forward to that game. But Prime definitely should be up there for Coach of the Year. He's doing a great job. It's been, you know, it's tough to be able to change a whole program that fast. So you got to salute him and what he's doing. But hey, November 23rd, we got that circle. They got to come to Arrowhead.
Man, I think there's no question. Prime should be is the Coach of the Year, top front runner.
Yeah,
you know, to take CU from 1 win 2 years ago to where they are right now, to us even talking about them maybe making the Big 12 championship, making the championship playoffs. Like that's a turnaround. That's a true turnaround. But then also they got to thank your Jayhawks, man. Them going and beating Iowa State really just led the way for them to maybe make it to the Big 12 championship. And they still got to play Kansas. And you know, I just believe with Kansas, they haven't been playing up to their potential all year. So that's going to be the biggest game of the year for CU. But man, Colorado's really, you know, it's really been surprising people. They just keep winning. And nobody's expected them to be where they are right now. You know, the offense is looking good. Defense is looking better. They're able to stop in the run a little bit better. And then, you know, obviously Travis Hunter is playing out of this world on both sides of the ball. Man, CU's a tough out right now. And the fact that they have a chance to make the playoffs, you know, who would have thought? Who truly would have thought that we even be talking about CU this late in the year being this competitive? So, you know, man, hats off to them for all the work they've put in. And, you know, now you don't hear all this talk of, oh, Prime don't know what he's doing. Prime is this. Oh, the transfer portal don't work. All that stuff is dead. All that stuff is dead. See, Prime has shown, hey, shut up and let me do my thing. It's going to work out. And remember, he said he's bringing his luggage and his Louis. And it definitely is because, man, them guys are balling.
What an amazing job by CU. And what I love, too, is that they haven't been distracted this year. I think last year they got distracted with the success. This year they're staying focused. And, of course, they have two of the best players in the entire college football landscape. That does it for us this week. We're the Harrises. Join us next week for some more sports talk. And make sure to like, subscribe, and share with those you love. Thank you.